Hi there, Nathan Oney here with Simple Church at FUMC Santa Monica. We've been on this journey through Holy Week together, and thus far it's been a huge success for Jesus and his disciples. On Sunday, Jesus entered into Jerusalem to shouts of Hosanna in the highest and waving palm branches. On Monday, he entered into the temple and overturned the tables of the money changers and won the acclamation of the people. On Tuesday, he sparred with the same religious leaders that were benefiting from the oppression going on in the temple of that time. And he comes out on top and teaches his followers to love their neighbors as themselves. But on Wednesday, things start to change. Wednesday is often called Spy Wednesday, and it makes me think of dark and secluded alleyways where one can have clandestine meetings. And it's called this because Wednesday is the day when Judas agrees to betray Jesus. He does so after a very strange encounter. Jesus and his disciples are resting in Bethany, and a woman comes forward with an alabaster jar of an expensive ointment. And she breaks this jar open and anoints Jesus' head and feet. And those around Jesus, some of them start to say, "Why has this woman done this? We could have sold this ointment and given the proceeds to the poor, because this jar would have been worth almost a full year's wages. They could have supported someone for an entire year." And in this moment, I think, of course, Jesus would agree with this. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, Jesus says that whatever you do to the least of these, to the poor, the poorest of the poor, you do to me. And elsewhere, he tells a young rich man to sell all that he owns and give the money to the poor and then follow me and be my disciple. These things, the giving to the poor, these are important to Jesus. So I think, of course, he's going to agree. But he defends this woman and her actions. And I have to believe that this is because for Jesus, it's less important how and what we give than that we do give in the first place. You know, I was reading the other day the comments section on a Facebook group that was all about sustainability. Because for Lent, one of the things I'm doing is trying to become more sustainable in my habits and choices. And there was a woman who was talking about how she repurposed some expired milk to use so that none of that went to waste. And all of a sudden, on this post, dozens of people jumped on to berate this woman for even purchasing milk in the first place, because in their view that was so wasteful. And I was thinking, here is someone who is trying to do what they can. Who knows where she comes from? Who knows if she even has other alternatives available to her? Maybe this is the best that she can do in order to do some good in the world. And I started to think about this story. There are people who question the devotion of Christians. Sometimes it's for good reason. Sometimes we have people who will be devoted in ways that are horribly harmful to others. And there are others who question our actions and motivations for self-centered reasons. Judas, it is said, questioned this woman not because he cared about the poor, but because his hand was in the money purse and he planned on using the funds for himself. I think that it's important when we are doing acts of worship or devotion for us to spend a little bit of time considering the impact of our actions on others and the perceptions that outsiders might have of us. But ultimately, if that course of thinking through all of the eventualities causes you not to give worship from yourself to Jesus, then it's not worth it. So whatever you are doing today, whether you are praying or serving the poor or giving of your own life in some other way for the sake of Jesus Christ, know that it is good and that it is received as love. So how are you giving your devotion to Jesus today? Let us know down in the comments below. And see you tomorrow.